Our family has been living off of the government for the past 4 years. My husband and I, neither one, have had a job because we had children, and we decided we wanted to stay home with them and just soak in every moment. And so we haven't worked in 4 years. And my husband told me yesterday we can no longer go out to eat on Sundays because we have to put money aside because Donald Trump's taking our paycheck away because we get a government check once a month. And the more kids we have, the more money we get. So we've been having kids like nonstop for the past 4 years. We're up to 5 kids now. I had to break that to my kids yesterday because they asked me why we weren't going out to eat. And I said, well, Donald Trump is a bad man and he was elected to be president and he's taking all our money away. And they started crying. And it just hit me that it was that simple for them to understand why Donald Trump would be
Hey, this might be bad timing for this, but was Israel founded by terrorists? That's what this guy says. Let's listen to what he says.
The state of Israel was founded by terrorists. No, this is not hyperbole. No, this is not a metaphor. The state of Israel was founded by terrorist groups. Before Israel's founding in 1948, there were 3 main Zionist paramilitary groups. These were known as the Haganah, the Lehi, and the Irgun. It was these 3 paramilitary organizations that merged together and later became what we now know as the IDF, or Israeli Defense Forces. It was these 3 paramilitary groups who were designated as terrorist organizations by both the UK and the United Nations that would become responsible for implementing Plan Dalit, the blueprint for the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. In July of 1938, the Irgun bombed 2 vegetable markets in Haifa and Jerusalem, respectively, killing 80 people in total. In July of 1946, the Irgun bombed the King David Hotel in Jerusalem, killing 91 people. Also in 1947, the Lehi tried sending letter bombs to the White House to try and assassinate President Truman for not supporting their efforts to build a Jewish state in Palestine. In January of 1948, the Haganah bombed the Semiramis Hotel in Jerusalem, killing 25 people. In April of 1948, both the Irgun and Lehi attacked the village of Deir Yassin and massacred over 110 Palestinians. And in September of 1948, the Lehi assassinated a man who rescued 31,000 people from a Nazi concentration camp in World War II, including over 500 Jews. Folk Bernadotte, a United Nations mediator who the Lehi accused of having a pro-Arab stance during the ceasefire negotiations at the end of 1948. The leader of the Haganah, David Ben-Gurion, became Israel's first prime minister. The leader of the Irgun, Menachem Begin, became Israel's 6th prime minister from 1977 until 1983. And the leader of the Lehi, Yitzhak Shamir, would become Israel's 7th prime minister from 1983 until 1984 and from 1988 until 1992.
Wow. He certainly makes a compelling case. Well, I mean, first of all, the whole state of Israel was founded illegally, even though they got a UN. It was through the Balfour Declaration. So it was given to them by the UK, which the UK were illegally occupying Palestine at that time. So you can't give away a land that's not yours to give away. And that's what the UK did with the Balfour Declaration, gave the Zionists Israel, part of Palestine. Now, why did the UK give them the Balfour Declaration? That's the question. Some people say it's because the UK had lost the war and the Zionists had figured out a way to get the United States into the war. And they went to the UK and said, hey, we'll get the US into this war to help you fight Germany, even though it looks like you lost, so you're going to need the US to get in. And if we get them in on your behalf, you give us this piece of land in Palestine and we'll make our own country. That's what some people say the story is. That's a story I've heard many times. I can't say that's the reason why for the Balfour Declaration. What do you know, Chris?
I have friends that are Israeli and Palestinian. You know, you get different perspectives on this.
What do you know about it?
I don't know much. I'm not a student of history.
All right,
yeah, so I feel
Thanks for nothing. So I do know this. Grok kind of validated it. He says pre-1948, the Irgun bombed the King David Hotel in 1946, killing 91 people, including British, Arabs, and Jews. Lehi assassinated figures like Lord Moyne in 1944 and conducted raids on British targets. After statehood, the 1954 Lavon affair featured Israeli agents planting bombs in Egypt to blame nationalists, meaning to blame Arabs for the bombs that were planted by the Israelis. That's what that means. USS Liberty in 1967 attack killed 34 Americans, with Israel citing mistaken identity. Nobody believes that. There was also a thing called Operation Cast Thy Bread. Do you know what this is? Operation Cast Thy Bread was a top-secret biological warfare operation conducted by the Haganah and later the Israeli Defense Forces, which began in April 1948 during the 1948 Palestine War. The Haganah used typhoid bacteria to contaminate drinking water wells of the Palestinians. So they poisoned their drinking water with typhoid. Its objective was to frighten and prevent Palestinian Arabs from returning to villages captured by the Yishuv and make conditions difficult for Arab armies attempting to retake territories. The operation resulted in severe illness among local Palestinian citizens. In the final months of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, Israel gave orders to expand the biological warfare campaign into neighboring Arab states such as Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria. But they were not carried out. Israel Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion and IDF Chief of General Staff Yigael Yadin oversaw and approved the use of biological warfare. So just to let you know. So, I don't know. Is that guy correct? I mean, it all depends on what your definition of a terrorist is, I guess. I always thought the definition of terrorism was using violence for a political end, which is what every war is. So in that sense, almost every country in the world is a terrorist. Right now, we're terrorizing Venezuela. That's what the United States is doing. We're using violence for a political outcome, which is actually an economic outcome. We want to get their minerals and we want to get their oil. They have more oil than Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Yeah, I have Israeli friends that would argue that this is like self-defense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, that's what I said. It all depends on what your definition of terrorist is.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
What they'll tell you right now is they're defending themselves in Gaza.
Yes.
Well,
yeah,
the rest
100%.
of the world says it's ethnic cleansing and genocide.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, boy, it's just really. What was the name of that NPR thing? What was it called? You don't want to be a sucker. What's the word for sucker?
Friar?
Yeah. Boy, I almost want to play that.
I know. That's what I was thinking, too, when we were watching
because it explains so much.
The weird psychology that you would...
There's a psychology among the Israeli people of... It's called don't be a what?
A friar, right?
A friar. And a friar translates to don't be a sucker. And NPR put out this story about it and how it really highlights the mentality of people who live in Israel.
Yeah, it was from This American Life, Suckers in the Promised Land.
Suckers in the Promised Land. Wow. Okay. Anyway. So Israel, I know the UN says, but the UN says a lot of things. And, but, so again, it all depends on your definition of what a terrorist is. My definition of a terrorist would include the United States government for a long time. So, all right, over to Steph.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy. Oh, I don't want to miss this one. Israelis are sociopaths and so horrific that they would use nukes and end the world without hesitation. FSL.
Well, they do have that thing called, that's the Samson doctrine, right? Yeah, that's what that is.
Glad you like the songs. Thank you, Vienticus. Much appreciated. I saw Jimmy and Steph and Chris in Calgary. It was a fun time. Dan, thank you. And you know what? Speaking of a gentleman named Dan. All right, hold on. I have this t-shirt that you made, and it says, you don't get in trouble for telling lies. You get in trouble for telling the truth. Dan, my guy Dan, whoever you are, Dan, where did we meet? It was in the last month. Okay, Dan, do me a favor. Can you write an email to contact@jimmydorecomedy.com? Say, I designed the t-shirt. Dan, I want to get in contact with you. I have a question. All right, Dan. It's such a great t-shirt. I love it. I want one of my size. I want to be able to. These are great. All right, back to me. Here we go. Is incredible. Oh, yes, that was Giovanni who said I was ignorant. Giovanni, I'm not going to wish something horrific happen to you. I'm going to send you love. I'm just thinking some terrible things. Why does Kash Patel always look like he just got caught jerking off? Does he scream Valhalla at climax? I don't even want to think about that. All right. It means love in sign language. Oh, that's what this means. This means love. Am I doing it right? This means take it easy in surfing. All right. The 1998 movie Snake Eyes is Hollywood's pre-crime prediction of the recent Utah live unaliving incident. Okay. Thank you for that one. Back to Mr. Jim.